Thanks very much.
Coming up to 8:45, he's written music for the blockbuster film About a Boy, starring Hugh Grant. Now, Badly Drawn Boy is back with a brand new album and single out today.
That was his hand.
And that's his
I
head.
noticed you were thinking, shall I go for it? I've got to put it somewhere. Well done.
He is Damon Gough, of course, the talent behind the band, and this is the first album in 4 years. First, let's take a look at the new single, Too Many Miracles.
I'm ready to be in love again. I know we could be in love. Photographing snowflakes lately, I'm slowly losing my mind with so many different kinds and falling all the time. There's a rainbow forming without any rain, a new dimension again. There's too many miracles happening here. It's the same old story, different year. Oh, I'm glad you were here.
Damon, there's a tree. You laughed yourself when you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's just weird watching it in other people's company, because I've seen it a couple of times at home and stuff, and I feel like I look like Coolio in that video. You know, Coolio's got that weird, kind of weird hair coming out of his head, and I look a little bit like a black man because of my makeup, so yeah, I look like Coolio.
So very different. Too Many Miracles is about too many miracles in your life, or worried about having too many miracles in your life, or what?
I think it's just it's kind of trying to say that I'm just living, the world just revolves around you and things happen that you're not aware of, and there are quite a few miracles. There's a line in there about future mothers born every day, because I've got a little girl and one day she may be a mother, so it's like miracles happening all the time around you, so it's just a reference to a few things that, not specific. I'm not really sure what the song's about, to be honest, but it's just about, it's a positive song at least.
Yeah, what about the album title, Photographing Snowflakes? Where did that, what's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, well, it's a trilogy. It's what I'm thinking is the main title, and the first part, Photographing Snowflakes, it was just a conversation with a few friends discussing what was the hardest job in the world. And I just said it must be photographing snowflakes, because that must be impossible, because they melt pretty quickly.
How do you do it? Exactly. And it's the first album for a long time on your own label, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a brand new label called One Last Fruit, which is an old song of mine, a B-side called The Last Fruit on My Tree. So, and I started with Twisted Nerve Records in 1997. So I was with EMI and I was with XL Records, and I'm back to being on my own, which is it's quite refreshing in a weird way. I've kind of been dropped or let go by EMI because everybody was fired. The music industry's kind of disintegrated, and I've ended up by default back on my own. But it feels quite good in a certain way, just to be back doing your own thing again.
Sounds surprising, because wasn't About a Boy must have been a huge hit.
Oh, it was massive. It sold 20 million or something like that.
Really? Did it really?
No, about 4 or 5 copies, I think. I don't know.
No, it did sell a lot.
It sold in big numbers.
Yeah, About a Boy was the second release. Before that, the first album won the Mercury Prize. So I mean, at the start of my career, I was like, started with a bang. I was really successful, and people think since then that my career's dipped, but really I've not really stopped working. I've been quite prolific. This is my 7th record really that's coming out now. So
let's remind ourselves of some of Badly Drawn Boy's most famous hits. Here we go.
Shallow, calling out for extra help. You've got to let me in or let me out. Ooh, something to talk about. Keeps down the sound of your silent sigh. To repair your desire and call it a gift that I stole from just wanting to live. I see.
I'm interested when you were talking about being moved on from some of the big record labels, and that it's almost like the music industry was contracting. Is it still quite a tough time out there, do you think, for new bands?
I kind of feel for new bands that are starting out now because I've had the good fortune of being around for over a decade now, so I think I've got a fan base at least. If you were starting out now, it must be difficult, but I think it's also possibly an inspiring time as well because anything goes. I mean, I'm quite excited about what I can do now without the restrictions of a label, or it costs money to do it. You've got to spend money on marketing and all that kind of thing, but I'm quite excited about it. So it's not all bad. I think there's good and bad.
How does a label restrict you?
It's not restriction. That's a bad thing to say, really. It's just that I think when you sign a record deal, there's certain implications because you're taking a lot of their money in terms of marketing the act, and there's compromises to be had. I think when you're on your own, you can. It's liberating. You can do what you want to a degree. You can release music without worrying whether it's going to be a big hit. That's the most liberating thing, is not worrying about a big hit. I mean, I'd like this to be, but it probably won't be.
And you're still leading the old life. You still live up in the northwest where you come from.
Yeah.
Never been tempted to come down and live the glitzy rock and roll lifestyle. I
just feel like when I get off the train at Manchester Piccadilly, I just feel like, you know, like you breathe a sigh of relief that you're home. I mean, I love London. I love coming to London, but I'm always working when I come here. But it's a beautiful place. It's a massive city, and it's got really exciting things. But Manchester's home, so I feel like I nearly bought a flat a couple of years ago, but it didn't quite pan out in St John's Wood. So I didn't have to stay in hotels all the time. We nearly did that, but it didn't work out.
And relatively close to Euston for you to catch the train too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Damon, thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Nice to see you.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks.
If you want